So welcome to our thought for today. My name is Debbie and I'm a trainee vicar at the Church of Epiphany in Gipton and Oakwood in Roundhay. So a couple of weeks ago, I went to hospital for a chest x-ray. On arrival, I was given a gown which I was asked to change into and told where to go to get changed. But I got a bit confused. And so I opened the door to what I thought was the changing room. And although the light was very dim, I could just about see enough to get changed. But just as I was almost ready, I leant back on the wall, which triggered the lights, and to my absolute horror, I realised I was standing in the cleaning cupboard. And then I heard the nurse calling my name. And at that point, I realised I had no other choice than to step out into the corridor, where the nurses and other patients were sat. And as you can imagine, there was a collective burst of laughter as I stood there with my gown on the wrong way round, feeling like a right prize prat. Now let's be honest, the last few months have certainly not felt like much of a comedy, far from it. But if my antics in the cleaning cupboard offers any sorts of reminder, it's the importance of keeping laughter and silliness at the heart of our faith. It's about being able to laugh at ourselves, because the power of a right good laugh really is healing and cannot be underestimated. Now, if I were to ask you to describe a nun, you may, like me, picture a woman kneeling serenely in prayer and head bowed in silence. But let me introduce you to Sister, or Saint Teresa, I should say, of Avila, a 16th century Carmelite nun with searing honesty and very obvious sense of humour is refreshing in so many ways. So from here on in, I'm going to refer to Saint Teresa as Big Tess, which isn't a mark of disrespect, just an acknowledgement of her larger-than-life personality and her remarkable contribution to the Church. Now, one of my favourite stories about Big Tess is when she fell off a donkey during a massive rainstorm and ended up in a ditch, lathered in mud. Tradition says that Big Tess looked up to heaven and shaking her fist saying, "God, if this is how you treat your friends, then it's no wonder you got so few of them." What a classic line. But please don't misunderstand me. Life has been very difficult for so many people in recent months. And someone who laughs about everything fails to see the pain and brokenness that we all encounter at different times. But I do think that Big Tess has something to teach us about the importance of being honest with ourselves and God, and maintaining a sense of humour, even in the most challenging of times. Within the Church, we can sometimes be way too solemn for our own good, although I don't really know why, when the Bible is crammed with comical stories of people ending up in their own version of a cleaning cupboard. And what about the intrinsic value of silliness? Then where is that to be found in our life of faith? It takes courage to be silly, because silliness is rebellion. It's being daring and vulnerable. It's dropping the mask and is an act of faith. And I wonder whether this is actually what Jesus might have meant when he said, "Unless you change and become like little children." Because when kids are playing, let's face it, they don't give a stuff about what other people think of them, but just enjoying the game. And so today, my encouragement is simply this. Let's keep a sense of humour where we can, and let's have the freedom and courage to laugh and be silly with ourselves and with one another. So why not take a look at the short film attached to this reflection from Kevin the Minion? Life's too short to be serious all of the time. And even in the midst of so many challenges, let's hold fast to the prayer that Big Tess once prayed. From silly devotions and sour-faced saints, good Lord, deliver us.